New video, same location. So just further down the path from where I was in my last video. And fortunately, this fog is stuck around for quite a while. A lot longer than I thought it was. I thought at first it looked like it might start to dissipate, but it's probably been an hour and a half since my last photograph, and quite a bit of fog still. I'm also heading down a trail that's kind of heading down towards the coastline, but it goes up, way uphill up the side of this behind me. So I'm in shade. I've been in shade this whole time, which I wonder if that's probably why I still have a lot of fog, pretty dense fog anyway, because the sun hasn't started to burn it off. So I've come across the scene. It's another just foggy tree scene. I absolutely love this. I wish I could have these conditions every day I was here. I'd have probably a couple $100 worth of photos of just fog. But I've picked up a composition here that's just, the trees line up in kind of a pleasing way, and there's a bunch of elements in it too that kind of add to it, I think. So I've set up the camera with the 90mm lens again. And I just kind of like moved the camera around until parallax gave me, the trees lined up in such a way that they just kind of made sense in a photograph. In the foreground, I got a bunch of ferns and stuff that are giving me some interest in there. Then I've got a double trunk tree that's got some ferns kind of in the middle. I think is kind of a cool spot. That's actually where I focused. And then a couple bigger trees just kind of falling off in the distance behind it. And right smack dab in the center is a dead tree. It's actually like a burnt trunk. And on the very top of it, it's a nurse log. It's got some trees, some saplings sprouting out of the very top of it, what I thought was really interesting. So I paid attention as much as I could to all of those elements to try to line them up so that they make a pleasing photograph. And then the fog's helping me out quite a bit here too, with some background separation. Like I said, I focused for that patch of ferns right in the double trunk tree in the foreground here. I had to add half a stop for bellows extension. And I shot one sheet of Ektar 100 on this. I was initially thinking Provia, and then when I started metering the patches of sky that are kind of poking through the fog on the top, put me way over what Provia could handle. So I went color negative. So as a result, I metered for the shadows. The shadows under this bush that's just off center on the composition on the left here. There's some deep shadows in there. Color negative film, you just want to make sure you don't underexpose your shadows. And then the sky can do kind of whatever it wants. It actually was pretty well in range. I think it was 3.5 stops over, maybe pushing 4 stops over in some spots, which is pretty bright. It's too bright for slide film, but color negative should be able to handle that. Dead calm in here too. It's been great. Just a slight breeze coming through once in a while, but while I was shooting, nothing moved at all. It was great, just absolutely silent. I've had this trail to myself this whole time too. It's just been an absolute treat. I've been hiking and I'm sweaty, so when I hold the dark slide underneath my arm like that, it tends to be a little sweat or condensation on it. So by fanning it, it gets the moisture off of it before you go slide that over your film. So exposure time on Ektar 100, it was aperture of f32 again, and my exposure time was 6 seconds after accounting for bellows and reciprocity. And that's it. That's my last sheet of color negative that I have on me. So I gotta hike all the way back out of here to the truck to get more if I want to shoot more color neg. Got some slide film still, but unfortunately I think all of these shots I have sky, like bright foggy skies in the background are probably done for. I don't think I can shoot those with slide film. Unless I find something that's kind of pointed towards a more evenly lit like background instead of out to open sky over the ocean. This is kind of tucked in towards the hillside a little bit, but there is still some bright sky in the very top, so. I wish I would have brought my stereo audio recorder down here. I could have recorded a bunch of ambience tracks for you, because man, this is just, I don't want to leave. It's beautiful. Here's that sheet of Ektar. Just a single exposure on this one, which is fine because it turned out okay. But I probably would have shot doubles on this one, but I was running out of color negative film in my bag. So I was trying to be conservative with it. And in that regard, I was trying to take as much care as I could to make sure that everything turned out technically great. Yeah, all the ferns and foliage in the foreground is tack sharp. Really happy with that. There's lots of fog in the background here, which is really cool. So this right here in the middle of this double trunk tree, or it might just be two trees that grew together a little bit, there's a patch of little branches sticking out there. That was my focus point. So on a lot of these images, I just picked one prominent area that's relatively close to the lens so that there isn't so much dense fog in between it and that subject. And then just trust that stopping down the depth of field in the lens will capture the rest of the detail in the image as it goes back appropriately. Because of course there's a softening effect from the fog, so it won't all be tack sharp. And that's the point of fog. But yeah, it looks like the exposure turned out okay. Ektar really did good on these highlights up here. They say you can't really overexpose Ektar. I mean, I'm sure you could if you really tried. But yeah, it really handled that detail really well. So I'm stoked with that one. I thought it was a pretty cool subject. I like the composition. Hopefully you do too. Let me know down in the comments what you think. So it's later in the afternoon now. Last you heard from me, I was walking through redwood groves and all the fog burned off as the afternoon got started, which meant that I was kind of done with that grove for today because the streaks of light coming through the forest were harsh again. So I took the afternoon to kind of go explore a little bit, and right now I'm on the Oregon coast. So I drove north quite a ways to come check out some of the prime coastline up here on the southern end of Oregon. I don't think I'm gonna do much with it. Light's way harsh. It's so bright over the ocean. That sunlight, I mean, the sky's almost white with haze and white clouds out there, and it's just reflecting off the ocean, and it is so bright. I was just trying to take some like kind of snapshot photos with this camera, just kind of, you know, because why not, you know, the touristy kind of photos. Good for memories and Instagram content. And I had to have shutter speeds that were like 1/500th of a second or 1/1000th even. Yeah, I don't have any ambition of trying to shoot any of this stuff, especially with the view camera. But it's nice to just come up here and kind of spend an afternoon. I had a pretty productive morning, so I feel justified in taking the afternoon to just kind of enjoy myself. And it's kind of what I'm doing, just hiking along trails along the Oregon coast and just kind of checking out new viewpoints, places I've never been before. I've been to the Oregon coast a couple times now. But there was a couple key spots I saw on GPS maps that I realized I missed the last couple times I was here. It's going to be kind of fun to check it out. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know if there's going to be any more photography today. I have one more day. I have tomorrow. I don't know what to expect for conditions tomorrow because, well, this morning was totally unexpected. Tomorrow will be probably just as unpredictable. So we'll have to play that by ear. If I get good conditions, I'll go shoot some more trees. If I don't, then I guess I'll just have to stay mobile and just come up with a plan. So that's my afternoon anyway. It's an absolute joy to be out here, that is for sure. If I had my way, I'd probably move out here to the Oregon coast. Sure like to.